The very first time when Baba called me and said, Kya mangta hai, what do you want? I said, I want to be in your room. But before that, he kept saying, what do you want, what do you want? And I said, I don't want anything. First I said, I don't want anything. And then Baba said, no, Bolo, tell me what you want. And at that point, that was my first encounter, close encounter with Baba, one-on-one, if you will. And so I had spent about a year until that particular event happened. I had spent about a year in the ashram. And I watched people praying to Baba and touching his feet. And I was also doing it because everybody was doing it. But in my heart, I was asking, is he true? Is he my true guru? I need to know my true guru. And I always believe that in our spiritual search, we have to have our own one-on-one with God. And somebody else's faith cannot become my faith. Today I tell you nice stories about Baba, but he may not be your guru, and that's perfectly okay. You cannot live on borrowed faith. Oh, it must be his guru, it worked so well for him, let me try him for some time. It doesn't work like that. You have to find whom you can. That's why any name, any form, Baba said, right? You choose anything, whomever you can feel one with. It could be a flame in your room, in your puja altar. That flame and the light, you might feel akin to that light. You may feel oneness with the Hanuman. You might feel Shirdi Baba or Devi or Shiva. It doesn't matter. Because, like I said, all that will lead us to that ultimate truth. That is only a reflection of who I am. But I wanted a guru who will teach me, and I didn't know Baba was a guru. I didn't know at that time. And so many things happened in that first encounter. It was in 1980, I think. And so, since I had spent a year there already, my parents started writing to me. They were not devotees of Baba. They were very orthodox Hindus. We come from a very long lineage of South Indian Hindu families, and our lineage goes to thousands of years. So and it's passed by word of mouth in our lineage. So we know who the rishis were in our family, dating back thousands of years. So we come from a very orthodox Hindu Brahmin family. And so they look at him and they say, he can't be anywhere near Guru. Look at him, all this flashy hairstyles and silk robes and Mercedes Benz. No, he's not a Guru. So they completely refused him. But then I had to join his college, and my father was okay with it. Why? Because it was free education. He said, okay, it's free, yeah, you go for education, but don't get involved with Sai Baba. So it was kind of, let's get just go there, get your stuff, and like, people go for Satsangh just for the good food, and they say, yeah, Satsangh, I'll just have a good dinner and come back. So I went to Baba just for that, I guess. But then I got intrigued, because being brought up in a very orthodox family, I was always searching for spirituality. And so this first encounter was very, very profound. It changed my life. So my family was not, but they were not devotees. And so when Baba said, what do you want, I didn't know what I really wanted to ask, because it was so sudden. But then I remembered that since I was there for a year, my parents started writing to me. They said, okay, since you're there, and since you are saying Baba has all these powers, you might as well ask him one thing. And what was that? They said, okay, your eldest sister has been married for 11 years and she's not had a child, and they're trying all kinds of things. This is back in the late 60s, early 70s. Early mid 70s. And so they tried whatever they could. They not had a child. They'd seen all the Jyotish and astrologers and all the siddhas and all kinds of doctors, and nothing has worked, and your sister's pining for a child. Ask Baba if he can do something. And I said, me asking Baba for my sister, no, I'm not going to do it. I felt this was very embarrassing to me to suddenly get up and ask Baba, my sister's not having a child. As a youngster, I thought, oh, what nonsense is that? Why would I do that? But in that room, and he was just one-on-one with me. And my parents just like letters. Those days you didn't have cell phones or text messages, right? Letters would take a week. So every week I'll get this letter, and then my mother will write one sentence. She knew less English, but she write and said, did you ask Baba about Bhuvana? Bhuvana was my sister's name. Did you ask Baba? And I just politely say, yeah, I'm not getting a chance, I'll see. And I just pushed it aside. But that interview, Baba said, kya mangta hai? He pushed me almost to a corner in the room. What do you want? I said, nothing. Then now tell me what do you want? I said, nothing, Baba. Tell me what you want. And then it struck me, okay, maybe my mother's thing just came to my mind, and I said, Baba, my sister. That's all I said. Baba, my sister. And he said, your sister. 11 years, no baby, everybody in the family crying, Ayo, Muruga. Because we were, our family deity is Lord Muruga. We call him Muruga in South India. It's a Tamil version of Subramanya, or son of Shiva. So that was our family deity, and And Baba literally imitated my mother. Literally imitated. Your mother will be, Ayo Murga, Murga. She'll be crying all the time. I hear it every day. I'll give you prasad and she will have a child. And she'll have a boy in 8 months. That's exactly what Baba said. I'll give you prasad, Baba, she'll have a child in 8 months. Now what do you want? And then that's when I said, okay, I want to be in your room. And he said, okay, come tomorrow. But so when Baba told me, I'll give you prasad and she'll have a child in 8 months, I was like, I was more confused than I ever was. Because number one, I said, I'm trying to find faith here with you, Baba. Now you say, you could have just said a child. Why did you say it has to be a boy? What if it's not a boy? If it's a girl? And then my faith will get shattered because I'm desperately looking for direct content, direct belief, not somebody else's story. My story has to be authentic and genuine. So if you said boy, I hope it's a boy, but why did you have to say number one? Number two, why did you say 8 months? Isn't it 9 months or something? What is this 8 months thing? So I was so confused. I came out and I sat. So Baba has this, when he calls people for interview, he takes about 20-30 people at a time, he talks to them, and then he takes families separately into a smaller room just to discuss their personal problems. So I had no family, so he picked me up alone, spoke to me and sent me back. So I came back on the outer room and I was sitting thinking, okay, Baba is going to give me some prasads. It has to be some magical prasad. He's going to wave his hands and create vibhuti like he always does. And he's going to give me that. So I said, okay, at least I'll get this opportunity to see him create something at close quarters. That was my very first close encounter, like I said. So Baba came out, and then of course he got busy with others and he started talking to everyone. I apparently forgot who I was or what my problems were. And my mind was racing. This 8 months boy, I mean, should I tell this to my sister or should I just say, Baba said, yeah, something may happen. I don't want to disappoint the whole family. What if it doesn't happen? I completely didn't believe at all. Like, what do you mean? You just say something and something is going to happen. I didn't buy it 1 cent. Okay? So I was sitting there and I said, okay, let's see what kind of prasad he's going to give me. So Baba finished the group interview. He finished talking to everyone. He picks up a basket from the windowsill and he grabs vibhuti packets, and that's what he would give. He would give everybody vibhuti packets. Sometimes he would materialize too, but that afternoon he was giving everybody vibhuti packets from his hand, and everybody would just, reverentially put out their palms and he would put the packets in their hands. And so I put my hand too, and then Baba filled it with packets. But I just kept looking at him, and he said, he saw me staring. He said, what? I said, Baba, what about that prasad for my sister? He said, yeah, I gave you, give this to them, send this to her. Everything will be okay. And I looked at the prasad, I was looking at the basket, he's taking from the same basket, giving everyone. I was like, did everyone ask for a child or something? What's going on here? How is this going to work? There's nothing special in this prasad. You see, I keep going back to these stories only because we think God has to do something special because my problem is special. Because we are so experts in self-pity that my problem is so unique, nobody has that problem. And so God has to somehow do something unique to help me. So we are kind of in that kind of state all the time. So I thought there must be something unique Baba has to do to get my sisters pregnant, not this way, to conceive, not this way, just give some packets and say, yeah, it'll work. So I really didn't believe. So I said, okay, I put it in an envelope, I sent it to my parents along with a letter saying exactly what happened. Because the moment Swami said, send this and it'll get okay, he told others, doubting Thomas, he just laughed and said, doubting Thomas, your sister has more faith than you, send it, he said. I said, okay. So I wrote a letter and I said, this is what Baba did. He said, you're going to have a child, a boy in 8 months. Don't blame me, don't have any hopes, just take this prasad, don't catch me afterwards. But lo and behold, in exactly 8 months, she had a baby boy. And that boy is very and hearty and healthy, he's married now. So, to me, I'd of course wait for 8 months for that story to materialize. But in the meantime, so many other things took place. I was in Baba's room by then, and I was really learning a lot at such a furious pace. But by the time the 8 months came, I knew that was going to happen. And if it happened, it was only a small little affirmation or a confirmation of what Baba's words really meant. So when I stayed those 15 years, I saw him express his divinity almost as if it's his very nature. Like it's the nature of the water to be wet. I mean, there's nothing magical about it. It was like that. Like, when we were all 5-year-olds and 3-year-olds, when a father would do something, you look up and say, wow, someday I need to do that. How do you do that? Or favorite uncle will come and do some magic tricks and you'll be like, wow, uncle is my favorite uncle. We cling to them, thinking what they're doing is something fantastic out of the world. But what they're doing is perhaps taking one little petty things that you and I do. But at that point, it looked magical because we didn't know the logic behind it. And so for us, when we look at Baba from where he comes from, his perspective, and you see, my God, that is so magical. How does he do that? He is divine, he must be God. And that God himself is telling you, no, wait a minute, you are that too. You have all these powers within you. You only have to change your belief that you are God and start saying you are God. I went to Baba when I was 16 or 17 years old. I stayed with him till I was 35 years old. I learned to drive after I was 35 because I spent all this time in the ashram. And all we did was bhajans 3 times a day, studies, and then I had plenty of time to analyze who we were, what the purpose in our life was, and what is birth and death and truth all about. And so with Baba, every day was a lesson learned, and I have so many lessons to share that we learned in all those 15 years that I could keep you up all night, but I won't, I promise. I'll just keep you up for a few minutes just to share one or maybe two of the lessons that often inspire me every day and often make me think about the values and the priorities in life. One of them was, these are very profound lessons, and taught the way Baba would teach us in very, very simple ways. He would just talk to you somewhere, share a big truth and walk away. And then you would begin to wonder how much more depth is there in Baba's teachings. So once he had called me into his room to clean up some boxes because thousands of devotees would give donations. They'll give in terms of clothes, everything to be distributed, and Baba would keep it in his mandir. And then during festivals, he would call a few of us, we organize all those clothes and everything and then redistribute it back. Many of them will be brand new. People will donate brand new, the factories in India which manufacture saris and the dhotis that the Indians wear, they would give them in plenty. And knowing that we would wear white pant and white shirt all the time, people would donate tons and tons of white cloth. So we would have to measure it and cut it and keep it, organize it during Dasara festivals and during Baba's birthday celebrations. He would just give. And Baba always said, birthday is a time for you to contemplate on how much you have given back. What have you done for your family? What have you done for your society? And if you haven't done enough, then do more every birthday. So every birthday of Baba would be an example of, he would see how else can I give people who come. So it would be free food, free accommodation, everything will be free. And for those of you who don't know, Baba's educational institutions are 100% free, from kindergarten to post-graduation. The education is free. Baba has started super specialty hospitals in the same standard that the world's best hospitals are done. And the open heart surgeries done there are 100% free. And everything that Baba does is with the attitude of giving and with the attitude of let money not be because we have become worshippers of money, and Baba said that is really not important. What is important is love and the attitude to serve and give people and give it back to them. So one of these days when we were cleaning up this room and organizing this thing, Baba sent me and my friend to a room and he said, bring this box from that particular room. So we went into that room, it was dark, and I was looking for where the switch was, and Baba came from behind and he put on the switch. And of course I had a small flashlight, so I put on the flashlight. I was looking for the switch to put on the light because the particular box he said must have been somewhere in the room, it was dark. And when he put on the switch, Baba said, your little flashlights are so useless. You see in the front, you cannot see back. You see behind, you can't see in the front. It only shows you a little at a time. Look in my light. And he put on the switch and walked away, and you can see everything. To me, that was such a powerful lesson, because it taught me that many times in our lives, we use our flashlights to find out where life is going and what we need to do. By flashlight, I mean our little mind, our finite mind, and that mind coming from our limited identity. we have borrowed an identity which was given to us at the time of birth. A name was given to us. And as we grew, somebody told us you can do this, somebody told us you cannot do that. We said, all right, we accepted it. By the time we were 5 and 6, we were pretty much made up of what we were going to become. Because at that age, you pretty much learn everything in life. We decide to like certain things, dislike certain things, and we live our life pretty conditioned throughout. And like zombies, we go, everybody likes a movie, we also decide we have to like a movie. We go to buy something, we see what are the ratings in Amazon. Everybody likes it, I must like it because everybody likes it. So we borrow people's likes and decide to like it. We borrow people's dislikes, we decide to dislike something. Eventually forgetting what is it I really like, what is it I am here for, what is my purpose in life. Somebody told me I have to get a job, okay, I have to get a job. Somehow I have to get married, alright, I get married. Oh, marriage is over, I have to get kids, okay, get kids. And then do what? Take care of their education. And then you're doing everything because everybody else is doing. Never getting a time to pause and wonder, wait a minute, what am I going to do with my life? And then find a meaning and a purpose and a mission and a passion in life and live accordingly. I think that's what birthdays are for. And so, this little flashlight that Baba said, you all are constantly using this flashlight, use my light, and you will see everything in clarity. I begin to understand that if only we allow the higher energy of God that is within us, lying asleep within us, the Hindu pantheon of thought, the Hindu school of thought, the ancient Sanatana Dharma. The word Hindu is also very, very modern. The word Hindu doesn't figure in any Vedantic teaching. It was given to us by other civilizations that came to rule over us. The word Hindu is a very recent thing. So saying Hindus is also really not correct. The Sanatana Dharma, the way of life that aimed for eternity. We were searching for eternal life and we found it. There was a civilization that found it, lived it, and shared that. That is what the Vedas and the Upanishads are all about. The highest teachings that within you lies a power, within you lies the wisdom, within you lies that God you're seeking for, is within you. You are that very eternal principle. And so when Baba said, look in my life, I begin to understand slowly, not at that night, because I started thinking what Baba meant. And over a period of time I understood that if only we allow this larger light to guide our life, then we don't need to use our little flashlight. Because this little flashlight is born out of fear. This little flashlight is born out of greed. This little flashlight is born out of anxiety. But the bigger light, when it comes, this light has no need to function. The bigger light guides you. So when we allow God to actually take birth within us, I think that becomes our true birthday. And until then, we have to celebrate each day as one step nearer to that realization that this is the birth of divinity within me. This is making my life more meaningful, and I'm beginning to find a purpose in my life. Whatever that purpose is. Everybody doesn't have to go and change the world or become the world guru. You could perhaps, but finding that purpose and doing what you truly believe in, what you're truly passionate about, that brings the truest essence of life. For those of you who don't know Baba's life, it's very, very simple. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because when I went to him as a teenager, I didn't know who Baba was. I didn't know whether to believe him or not to believe him. I had no clue. But then I ended up staying in his room because when I first had a small opportunity with Baba, and he said, "Kya mangta hai? What do you want?" I said, "I want to be in your room." Because I wanted to take care of him personally. I want to observe what he does. What does he eat? Does he have a TV in his room? Does he have an air-conditioned room? What does he have? A big sofa? What does he do in his room? And then he said, "Acha, come from tomorrow." And then it was so simply done. But to me, that was my beginning to understanding why Baba did what he did. If in one life, in a span of 85, 86 years, you could touch 250 million people's lives, that is not an easy task. That's almost an impossible task for somebody. For somebody who what? For somebody who was born in a village in the remotest part of India, which was not even on India map. For somebody who had no school education. You know, when we talk of success, we say, "Oh, I would have been successful if only I had a Harvard degree. I could have also done that." This guy is successful. Yeah, I could do. If I had a Harvard graduate, I could have done that. But if you look at the truly great masters who walked the earth, they had no education. He dropped out of school when he was 8th grade because he couldn't afford to go to school. And he said, this is not the education I want to learn. This is not what I want to teach the world. I want to teach the world human values, and I want to teach them that they are God too. That is the essence of his teaching. I am God, you are God too. I know it, you do not know. That is the only difference. So wake up and know that you are God as well. So he came to arise our consciousness to the highest supreme truth of the Vedas, of the Upanishads. And Baba proved it in his life. So he was not born from a rich family, a poor family in a village which was not even on the map of India. And he decided to set up an ashram where? Was it in Bombay, which was a metropolitan town? Was it in Chennai, another metropolitan? Was it in Bangalore? All these are big cities in India. Even then, they were big cities. And so there were devotees enough to tell him, why don't you set up your ashram here or there? He said, no, in the village. Now, if you set up a shop for business, you will say, I need a roadside, I need people to park, otherwise they won't come. We have so many do's and don'ts for successes. Why? Because we are borrowing all these ideas of success from somebody who has taught us. And we just say, okay, maybe to be successful, you need all these things in place. But then comes these teachers who break all these rules. In the most remotest village where there was not even a single road leading to it, you had to cross a river, and if that river wasn't flooded, people would wait on the other side. You had to wait for the floods to go and then cross it on bullock carts. You couldn't walk because there was no way to reach there. Even if it was 10 kilometers away, it would take 2 days for you to reach that place. It was such a terrible conditioned place. He set up an ashram. He said, this is the place that will become a world pilgrimage center. That was his vision. Where does this vision come from to these masters? Which breaks all logic of our conditioned thinking. When he had close devotees, and I spoke to some of these senior devotees at that time, very old people, most of them are not alive anymore. But they would say when Baba was young and Baba was talking about that he wants to do this and that, we would tell him, Baba, yes, I know you're young, but you come to Bangalore and do what you want to do. There are more people there than sitting in this village and talking Vedanta. Nobody is going to come here. Baba would say, you don't know. That is what you think. This place will change. And today, it has an international airport where a Boeing 737 can land in the village. There is a railway station. It's become a mini city. How does a small remote village get transformed to such a large international pilgrimage center? Because of one man's dream, Sai Baba's dream. Because of one man's vision. And that vision was not based on the do's and don'ts and how you run a project and what are the things you need to be successful. And he didn't have a bunch of advisors telling him this is how he must do, this is the step you should take. There were no advertisements, there are no donation boxes put anywhere in the ashram. Baba said, I don't want your money. I want you to believe that you are God. And he would often tell us, if only you know your true nature, if only you tap into your divine nature, the world and the resources of the universe will come and fall at your disposal to serve you, and your slightest desire will get fulfilled. How many of us truly believe that? And that is why the reality that we create around us seems muddled. When we ask ourselves, who am I? And that answer is what creates the reality around us. Because our core belief is what creates the circumstance that I draw into my life, the person I draw into my life, the people I draw into my life. Everything is completely and only a reaction, a reflection, and a resound of what? Of my innermost core beliefs. When Hanuman, the story of Hanuman is beautiful and very powerful. Most of you know Hanuman. The story is so well written. Again they use a story of a little monkey. A monkey who was nowhere in the picture at that time. There was Jambavan, there was Garuda, there was all these Sugriva, there was Bali and all these, well, Bali was killed by then, but there was Sugriva and all these powerful commanders of Rama's army at that time, ready to serve Rama. But they come to the end of India and they say, wow, this is the end and that's the ocean. And Ravana is across the ocean. Who will go there? I mean, who can go there? We are just monkeys, what can we do? And even the strongest of the warriors were dumbfounded after undergoing all those trainings and everything. But this little monkey raises his hand and he says, because when it is asked who can do this, the little monkey raises his hand and said, can I try? Where does that little monkey get that courage from? Where does that little monkey get that strength from? Does he know how far that land is when he takes that leap? He has no idea. He has no idea where he's going to land. He's just going to jump and take a leap. When we talk of leap of faith, that was truly, truly a leap of faith. So he takes a leap of faith. Does he know whom he's searching for? Has he seen Sita? He has no idea who Sita was. He's just going in search. So it was purely based on the faith that my master Rama has said we should find him, and therefore my job is to find Sita. That's it, period. That was my job, I have to do it. So if I take a leap and if I die in the process, I don't care. That faith, that was his core belief, that Rama is the one who will do through me. I am not the doer. And therefore, why should I be afraid? If Rama is the doer, then I will take the leap, he will take care of the rest. And he took the leap, and look, lo and behold, we worship him today. We are worshipping a monkey from whom we say we have evolved from. We turn around and worship. How did that happen? How did the monkey take the status of a god? It's because of that core belief. That is what these itihasas, the Puranas, the stories written by these Upanishads are trying to teach you and me, that it is not this little flashlight, this little mind, this little education, or I need to have a car to become successful, I need to have an iPad to become successful, I need an iPhone 6 or an S7, I don't know what it is, this goes on. Or I need to be tall to be successful, I need to be rich to be successful. We don't need anything. And yet you can do everything you ever wanted only if you go within and change that core belief. That is the lesson I learned from Baba. What was the belief in Baba's heart? He believed, he knew he was God. Once we were sitting at Baba's feet, and I'll stop with this. Once we were sitting at Baba's feet, and Baba was jokingly said something, oh, anything is possible, sky can become earth, earth can become sky if I will it. And one of the boys said, of course Baba, you're God. And Baba turned around and says, nah, not just me, you can do it too. And of course we all laughed and said, oh, yeah, come on, give us a break, kind of a laugh. But because at that point it doesn't strike us, it feels, yeah, we are God, yeah, that sounds great fantasy, but let's be practical. Let's do our pujas and work, and some God will take care of us. But the truth is that God we are searching for is within. And he said, the only difference between you and me is you think you are a speck in this universe. You are a small speck in this universe. That is what you think. I think the universe is a small speck in me. Look at that perspective difference. It's only a difference in perspective, how we look at things. Who am I? I am so vast and so infinite in nature that the universe is a small speck in my consciousness. That is the perspective of an avatar. And he says, you have it too. So what is preventing us from changing to that perspective is what we need to ask. It could be my birthday, it could be my sister's birthday, it could be my mother's birthday, it doesn't matter. When we get together for birthdays, I think the reason why we came into this earth becomes a question. Why am I here? Why have I come back? What am I searching for that brought me back here? Was it again to buy another TV, another house, another chase another girl, another kid, set a family, raise another family and just die as nobody and then come back again? What am I searching for? What is bringing me back again and again? And therefore, this question that we ask ourselves, we begin to open our mind to a deeper understanding. Maybe there is something more that I'm searching for. And that God that I'm worshipping is actually a reflection of the divinity within me. That's why Baba says, choose any name you want. Choose any form you want. Choose any method of worship you want. You want to sit and sing satsang and bhajans, do that. But know that this form you're looking at is only a reflection. Is only a reflection of what? Of the divinity within each one of us. So let this birthday therefore be a great reminder that we are born and we are participating in this play of consciousness, if you will, being born again and dying again. But we are born just to realize that and allow and live a life so we allow the inner divinity to blossom and allow that divinity to express itself through your thoughts. Allow that divinity to express itself through your words. Allow that divinity to express itself through your actions. That is that light which Baba was talking about. Allow my light to shine through you, not your little light. So put aside your little fears and anxieties and griefs and begin, however impossible it may seem, just begin that first step to saying, and this was Baba's mantra, if you will, he gave on his birthday. And he said, start saying this in 1984. He said, start saying this every day, even if you don't understand it, start saying it. Because that is the ultimate goal. And until you reach that goal, you will be coming back again and again. And what is that? He said, and I'll end with that. He said, start saying, I am God, I am God, I am not different from God. I am Akhanda Parabrahman. That means indivisible, absolute. Eternal, indivisible, absolute. I am Sat Chit Ananda. I am truth. I am awareness. I am bliss. Grief and anxiety can never affect me. I am ever content. Fear can never enter me. These are the 5 affirmations. I am God. I am God. I am not different from God. I am Akhanda Parabrahman. I am Sat Chit Ananda. Grief and anxiety can never affect me. I am ever content. Fear can never enter me.